Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is hosting the final day of NATO meetings, and he's expected to meet with Turkey's foreign minister over the country's proposed deal with Russia.
Turkey wants to buy an S-400 missile defense system from Russia. It also wants to buy F-35 U.S. fighter jets. The Trump administration says it can't have both. Here's Vice President Mike Pence warning Turkey against the Russia deal.
Turkey's purchase of a $2.5 billion S-400 anti-aircraft missile system from Russia poses great danger to NATO and to the strength of this alliance. Turkey must choose. Does it want to remain a critical partner of the most successful military alliance in the history of the world? Or does it want to risk the security of that partnership by making reckless decisions that undermine our alliance?
CBS News State Department reporter Christina Ruffini is following the latest from Washington and joins us now. So, Christina, what is it about this specific missile system deal that's causing tensions to escalate between the United States and Turkey?
It's not the deal so much itself, it's the system. It's a Russian weapon system, and that's just a non-starter for the U.S., and they've made no secret about it. They don't want allied NATO technology on a base operating with and next to Russian military technology, and vice versa. It's a security risk, and the fear is that it will somehow give Russia access or even potential access to U.S. technology, including the F-35 jet. The irony here is that Turkey, as you know, was one of the first members of NATO. It joined right after that initial round of 12 countries with Greece in 1952. And if you remember the last time we talked about this, Vlad and Anne-Marie, we talked about how the first Secretary General of the organization said the purpose of NATO was to keep the Germans down, the U.S. out, the U.S. in, and the Russians out. The initial session this week of the summit is to talk about countering the many threats posed by Russia. Meanwhile, Turkey, a key NATO ally, is purchasing a Russian missile system. Now, the Turks say they're not choosing between allies, that they can be a good member of NATO and have the S-400, but the rest of the group and the U.S. disagrees.
So, Christina, Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan actually spoke to Turkey's foreign minister yesterday during a conference, and she actually questioned him about the deal and why Turkey needs an S-400 missile system. Let's listen to a bit of that conversation.
When you meet with Secretary of State Pompeo and National Security Advisor Bolton, who you're scheduled to meet with here in Washington, will you tell them that Turkey is still going to go through with this purchase of the Russian system, the S-400?
Definitely. Definitely. It's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. And even President Trump admitted on the phone that it was the mistake of the previous administration of the United States that they couldn't sell Patriots to us. This is not a choice for us.
It is, is it not?
No, this is a done deal.
But the offer of Patriots is still being made.
We received a recent proposal from the United States, but it doesn't guarantee that the United States will be able to sell Patriots to Turkey because we couldn't get it for the last 10 years. That's why we had to buy from Russia.
So, why is Turkey so reluctant to work with the Trump administration? I mean, why not just hold off on the purchase from Russia and see if the Trump administration can come up with something that Turkey would like?
They said they don't want to. I mean, basically, as you heard him say, it's a done deal. The foreign minister said this is, Turkey needs these missiles. Their people understand that they need these missiles, and they're willing to compromise. Well, they say they're not willing to compromise the F-35 program. They think they can have both. The U.S. says you can't have both. If you're going to have these Russian programs, we're not giving you the stand-up to the jet program, which is what they've invested millions and millions of dollars in. And Turkey says, we think that there's a way that we can still work this out. Now, as you said, there was this call that the foreign minister alluded to where he says Mr. Trump said he would work on it and resolve the issue. But that's not the message we've been hearing from the Pentagon or the State Department, which have clearly said you buy this stuff from Russia, then no F-35s for you.
So, Christina, I'm guessing NATO's membership, Turkey's membership in NATO is still pretty solid. I mean, I don't think that something like this would jeopardize that alliance.
We haven't heard that so far. And you actually, people say, well, you should just kick Turkey out of NATO. You can't kick Turkey out of NATO. There's really no mechanism by which to do so. And again, it's not something that is being talked about. The U.S. has said Turkey is an important member of the alliance and that the partnership goes deeper than this one issue. But the problem is there's not just this one issue, right? There seem to be more and more things that these two allies, the U.S. and Turkey, can agree on, including what happens with Syria, support for Maduro in Venezuela, and the list goes on. So we'll have to see what happens here at the meetings in Washington today and from the weeks to come.
Right. Christina, thank you.
Thank you, guys.